I want to talk to you about keeping it moving. And one of the things that I encourage you to do is take the time to think about your life. Think about the behaviors and be honest with yourself. What are the things that you know that if you stop doing, it will advance your life? It will advance your career. It will allow you to accelerate rebuilding your business. It will allow you to have a greater impact in this thing called life. What do you think about that? Because this is a time that we have to rethink our lives. And stuff happens. I wanted to be on today, but I had to go to the dentist. But I can't let that stop the work that I have to do. I want you to remember me. Is it live life to the fullest, to the fullest. And so when you think about your life, think about the things that you want to get done now. Get it done in 21. There are things that I want to do for my children and with my children, for my grandchildren and with my grandchildren. And so having the initiative to do that and not put it off any longer so that they don't decide just to get together for my funeral, which is going to be a celebration. That I want you to think about what are the chances of your having a Zoom with all the family members talking and communicating with each other. Some of y'all are doing that right now. Some of you are doing it right now. And what are the chances that you make a commitment? And so as you think about your goals and dreams, it's very important you have a coach, somebody who's experienced, who's able to help you. It took me 3 years to earn my first million. 3 years. Easiest thing I've ever done was to earn $1 million. The most difficult thing I've ever done was to believe that I can do it. Given my circumstances, born in an abandoned building on a floor, don't know my parents, being a foster child, and adopted, labeled educable mentally retarded, which 87% African American males are put in that category, and put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade, failing again in the 8th grade at Booker T. Washington High School. To believe, based upon the culture that I was raised in, that marginalizes you and destroy your sense of self, to believe that I could break out of that poverty mindset. I gotta watch it before I take this mask off. Y'all see my jacked up mouth. You gonna say, look at that lip. Let me hold it. Let me hold it. Let me hold it. Ear hold out. I wish I had ears like Barack Obama right now. Okay. All right, I'm gonna be good. My mother used to go to bed hurt. She used to go to bed, go to work hurt and sick. Didn't matter. She had a job to do. I got a job to do, and that's to motivate you. This is what I came here to do. So as you look at yourself, look at your goals and dreams, keep it moving. Keep it moving. Think about who you want to be, what you want to do. Get a clear vision of what a new year looks like for you. And then do some self-explanatory thinking. Talk to yourself. And then ask yourself the question and be brutally honest. Who is it I've got to be to accomplish that? What is it I've got to do? How is it that I must die daily to who I've been and so that I can get it done in 21? What does that look like? There's a reason Paul said I must die daily. Because he knew he had some behaviors and choices and habits that didn't fit him and didn't fit in the purpose-driven life that he had embraced. This is about dying to who you've been and embracing to who you are to become. And so as you think about yourself, think about your goals and dreams. You can't do it by yourself. So I'm looking for some people that would like to be a part of my community. A lot of people going through some stuff right now. the major stuff. My goal is to help. My goal is not to be an onlooker. Just stand around and look and say.
I was 20 years old. I was at my lowest point. And then one day, and I remember the exact day, March 27th, 1975, I was helping my mother in her beauty shop. My mother owned a beauty shop up in Mount Vernon. And there was this older woman who was considered one of the elders in the town. And I didn't know her personally, but I was looking in the mirror, and every time I looked at the mirror, I could see her behind me, and she was staring at me. She just kept looking at me. Every time I looked at her, she kept giving me these strange looks. So she finally took the dryer off her head and she said something I'll never forget. First of all, she said, "Somebody give me a piece of paper. Give me a piece of paper." She said, "Young boy, I have a prophecy, a spiritual prophecy." She said, "You are going to travel the world and speak to millions of people." I began at Fordham University as a pre-med student. I took a course called cardiac morphogenesis. I couldn't read it, I couldn't say it, I sure couldn't pass it. So then I decided to go into pre-law, then journalism. And with no academic focus, my grades took off in their own direction. I was a 1.8 GPA one semester, and the university very politely suggested that it might be better to take some time off. I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Nelson Mandela said, "There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living." Fail big. You will fail at some point in your life. Accept it. You will lose. You will embarrass yourself. You will suck at something. There's no doubt about it. In the acting business, you fail all the time. Early on in my career, I auditioned for a part in a Broadway musical. Perfect role for me, I thought. So I'm in the wings. I'm about to go on stage. But the guy in front of me, he's singing like Pavarotti, and I'm just shrinking. I'm getting smaller and smaller. So they say, "Oh, thank you very much, and you'll be hearing from us." So I come out with my little sheet music, and so I assumed I didn't get the job. But the next part of the audition, he called me back. The next part of the audition is the acting part of the audition. So I'm like, hey, okay, maybe I can't sing, but I know I can act. So they pair me with this guy, and again, I didn't know about musical theater. And musical theater is big, so they can reach everyone all the way in the back of the stadium. And I'm more from a realistic, naturalistic kind of acting where you actually talk to the person next to you. But here's the thing. I didn't quit. I didn't fall back. I walked out of there to prepare for the next audition, and the next audition, and the next audition. I prayed. I prayed. And I prayed. But I continued to fail and fail and fail. But it didn't matter, because you know what? There's an old saying, you hang around the barbershop long enough, sooner or later you're going to get a haircut.
Naturally lazy, I'm just lazy. It's a choice. So I need to work on that, because in areas of choices, you can make vast improvement and you can make fast improvement.
I've never heard this distinction, by the way.
Yeah.
Hugely helpful.
Oh, yeah, in choices. So attitude. Let's say I have a lousy attitude. One day I wake up and I say, this isn't getting me anywhere. I got to have a good attitude. You can go from a 0 to a 10. I mean, almost over. I mean, you see people that you just say, my gosh, overnight they just got good and happy. You know what I'm saying? Okay, that's a choice. Vast, fast growth in choices. In giftedness, DNA, wiring, your growth is very, very small. And it's very slow. So I think, for example, a person can maybe increase their giftedness skill set maybe 2 numbers.
Wow.
So if I'm a little bit above average, I'm a 6. If I really work hard, I can become an 8. But an 8 is powerful.
Yeah.
8 has a huge return. So what I tell people is in areas of giftedness, that's where you have to work on your strengths. if I'm a 2 in something, I'm very weak in a skill. If I worked hard, I could only become a 4. I'd still be below average. And so what I tell people is, you got to ask yourself, is it going to give me the return? So in the area of strengths, you got to pour yourself into the things that you're already good at, because that'll really set you apart from average.
Yeah.
But in areas of choices, go for those weaknesses, because you and I don't you know people that are highly skilled but they have a lousy attitude, or they're not self-disciplined, and they're never going to get anywhere, and they're not going to get anywhere because they didn't. So in areas of choices, work on your weaknesses, but in areas of strengths and skills, just work on your strengths.